One of the things that surprised me most about Juneau, Alaska, was learning there are no road connections in or out of the city in the panhandle region of the state, with an estimated population of around 34,000 people. Because the rugged terrain surrounding Juneau includes numerous mountains and glaciers, the city is impassable by car and can only be reached by boat or plane. Or, as some of the locals say, you can also arrive into the city by berth. But for those of us who weren't afforded that option, I can certainly vouch for the choice to sail into town on the beautiful waterways that lead to the Gastineau Channel. On a recent Alaskan cruise, we docked in Juneau as our first port city of the journey, which, for another fun fact, is home to what is said to be the most easily accessible glacier in Alaska, the Mendenhall Glacier, named for Thomas Corwin Mendenhall of the U.S. Coast and Geodetic Survey, who helped determine the boundary between Canada and Alaska. During my time at the Glacier Park and Visitor Center, striking views of this 13-mile-long river of ice continued to amaze me. And with each new lookout point that I reached, the views were better than before. It reminded me of the parallel to our spiritual walk with the Lord, and how climbing higher always brings greater blessings than we may have first imagined. I could have stayed many more hours drinking in the scenic landscape that connects to the vast Juneau ice field. But before long, a tight schedule compelled me toward the tour bus and back to port for a 6-minute ride up the Gold Belt aerial tram, one of Juneau's most popular attractions, and for good reason. Juneau is a temperate rainforest, and the Gold Belt tram will lift you 1,800 feet to alpine meadows above the rainforest, where you can see spectacular views of Stevens Passage to the south and the Chilcot Mountains to the north. I met my parents downtown, where we made the tram ride together and enjoyed a casual stroll through the lush vegetation, spotting a couple of marmots along the way. The large ground squirrels can often be seen in small groups during the summer, but when winter rolls around, they hibernate underground. As a first impression of Alaska, Juneau did not disappoint. It's the state capital in a very unique city, being one of 2 U.S. state capitals not connected to the mainland by road, since the city is surrounded by water on one side and the Juneau ice field on the other. And just for reference, the other state capital is Honolulu. I look forward to sharing more of our Alaska adventures with you in the upcoming weeks, and I'm very grateful for the opportunity to take this cruise. It was an extended family trip with my parents, some aunts, uncles, and a cousin. On the way to Seattle to start our journey, my parents' flight was delayed multiple times, leaving them stranded in Charlotte, North Carolina for more than 15 hours due to a system issue with the plane, then waiting for another plane to be brought in at the last minute. To top it off, just when it finally looked like their flight would leave for Seattle, the pilot ran out of hours and they had to stay overnight for a standby flight the next morning. Thankfully, they made it just in time, and knowing how close they came to missing the boat, it made the experience together all the more meaningful.